Hello, everyone, and welcome to the GMologist Presents. Streamroller and I are continuing our celebration of RPG Day 2025. How are you doing today, Streamroller?
I'm doing great, and you're a great ally
Oh, that's today's prompt. Ally.
to do this with.
Yeah, NPC allies. Allies of the players. Should the GM be an ally of the players? Should players be allied together? Lots of questions to answer with this prompt. What do you think?
Yes to everything.
Oh,
I
yeah?
mean, well, I mean, maybe, I mean, the GM can't always be an ally, but I don't like it when he's an adversary. I don't like adversarial GMs, I'll put it that way. But as far as allies, I think it depends on what game you're playing. But even in the most mundane game, if you don't have allies, then you have enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And enemies don't always breed success.
True.
I've always thought that the power of one is good, but the power of more than one is better. So, I mean,
Yep.
case in point, many games you play, you do better with allies.
This is true. Yeah, I think that's kind of interesting. I'd say like we go to Twilight 2000 a lot, and I think there's many ways you can play it. Well, there's three main ways I think. You can play it as a survival game, where you kind of go from place to place. But there you still need allies because you don't want to be an enemy of every place you go, every cantonment you go to, because then you'll never be able to resupply. You'll just get stuck in the wilderness, and it's a survival game, so you'll probably die a slow death of exposure without any allies out in the wild. I mean, the other way to play it is as a warlord, but you're not going to be able to do it yourself. You still need allies. And of course, the third way to play it, and the way that you guys have played it in our Twilight 2000 campaign, is as a kingdom builder. And there, for sure, you need allies. You need to make these
Hmm.
alliances because, again, you cannot do it alone. And I think you guys, as an amazing coup, I think that you guys have conducted in the campaign in southern Poland, and this is all emergent play. Yes, we use this tetralogy as sort of a backdrop, but even they're not like linear adventures. It's like a more or less a they're hex crawls or point crawls at the very least. So you guys have made an ally instead of like the normal way is to a couple things. So in Ruins of Warsaw, it really suggests that you make a lot of allies. Because if not, there's no way
Hmm.
you can really defeat the big bad in that, right? There's no way. And I
Right.
think you read or you saw blogs and listened to podcasts where people did that, and well, they just died and they didn't like the adventure.
Ironically, that was after we played it,
Yeah, yeah.
but I
So
saw a lot of that. They went from you're on your own to immediately going to Warsaw to take over, and you almost can't do that.
no, you really need to gain allies and find the intel and capitalize or act on the intel that you get. So I think it's a very
Hmm.
important,
But
right?
we did
So
that in Pendragon too,
yeah, in Pendragon, you guys
where
have done that.
where an adversary, an adversary's knight, I ended up defeating him, and by happenstance and luck or destiny or whatever you want to call it, the dice decided that character fell in love with me and my character was in love with him. So then it was like, okay, he's an ally now and
Mhm.
trapped on the wrong side. So it became
Right.
my goal to get him back to my side, and that's not the only game that's happened in where you need allies. I mean, Mothership, you have to have allies too. It's a deadly game.
Yeah.
Walking Dead's a deadly game like that.
Mhm.
Lord of the Rings, you have to have,
Oh
or
yeah,
One
you're
Ring.
building an alliance really in One Ring, right? So you're building an
Mm-hmm.
alliance. Yeah, I think
Trying to.
yeah, and the big coup that I refer to is the fact that you've gotten Krakow and then this
Cilicia.
Cilicia together, right? And you guys conducted an operation against broken up elements of a Soviet division. I think that was a really good operation. So, but you had to, you know, they didn't they gave you like a tacit, not a big force, but you showed your worth and you built that alliance. And I thought it was really good role playing. And despite Operation Hot Potato, that could have you know tanked the whole thing, but it was
It
good.
could have, but it does help that the main characters that are married to each other, that's his brother.
Yeah, it does help, but it might.
Helps a little bit, but I
But
don't think
even
that
that, right? So, game is usually the outcome is that NPC is an adversary, and that NPC is killed, right? And you guys made him an ally. So,
exactly. And gave him entry into the back lore between the characters, and we had a little triangle going there
yeah, yeah.
amongst all of them. But
Hmm.
and I think that gives life maybe to a game.
I think so. I think it makes the game come alive. I love developing NPCs. I remember one of my favorite NPCs of all time. Um, no, it's not Florian, sorry, but it was this Goblin Herald that I kind of made up on the fly in my Broken Lands game named Globnob. And one of the player characters, he kind of took up he basically hired Globnob as his like promoter slash herald, and Globnob would sing the praises or spout the praises of these Tanathil's terrors as they walk through the city. So it's really fun to have him be sort of the like the Chaucer from Knight's Tale for this group. It was really fun. So
Gotta
it's a
love
good,
those.
gotta love the allies. I think so. I think it's an important part of the game. I think it helps the GM to immerse themselves into the world and communicate that to the players as an ally.
Right. But I mean, even more so than just that, I think you have to have allies with your own player characters you play with, because I've seen it where players become so adversarial to each other that it's no longer fun to play.
Yeah, I love seeing synergy work in a group. It's really neat to see that that one player gives a buff or one player's action kind of helps the next player down the line in the initiative. So it's really fun to see those types of things come together. Or like I think in your birthday game, that was a really cool operation to kill the boss there at the end, where you and the barbarian player character kind of corralled that that boss so they wouldn't get away. A player got a spell in that disabled that character more or less, or incapacitated that bad guy, and then the rogue got the sneak attack in. So it was a good combination of abilities throughout the course of the fight that led to that. So you're right. I think the players need to be allies and work together to synergize together.
Mhm.
And I think the
Otherwise,
GM, my last point is that, like you said, you don't like adversarial GMs. Yeah, I sometimes the GM, and I've done this in the past is a GM is you know, uh, to them, the world is very important, but it's really the story is not about the world. To me, in a game I've developed, the story is about the characters. I think the GM can be your ally because they're like, yeah, that I mean, I don't know if it'll work. We have to roll the dice, but let's try it. If a player has an idea, sometimes that probably won't work logically for a situation, but most times, I think the GM being the player's ally needs to, say yes, try it, roll the dice, we'll see what happens. And sometimes the outcome could be fun or not.
well, I mean, a funny example is we're at, I think it was Chupacabra Con a couple of years ago,
Hmm.
and we're playing in a specific pirate board game,
Hmm.
and there were four different tables playing, and everything that each table did affected the other table.
Right. That's really
But
cool.
it was really cool. So we were, I guess my character ended up getting drafted onto a boat at another table.
Hmm.
Okay, so I got over there, and another player from the same table, same thing. We ended up over there. So we were teasing the other table that we were going to get back at them. So when this firebomb came near us, we catapulted it through this empty space at that table. So it went at the other ship.
That's
So
funny.
then, and
That's kind
then
of
it,
mean. That's not really allying. That's
no, no, no,
adversarial.
no, no, no. Well, I was talking about the other character time. We're allied that way. No one ended up getting hurt because we just kept putting it through this time warp until eventually the fireball went out. It was just funny, but it was just one way to solve the problem.
Hmm.
But not one of the other tables knew what we were doing, but they were all on board with the idea. It was just really funny.
That's funny. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Fun. I like it when there's like this group game in a way, and then you got to
Hmm.
see if they're allies or enemies within the other tables. I think that particular, I think the 4GM, they have come up to say, for example, with like a Star Trek scenario where every table is a different ship, you know. So that's kind of a cool thing. And then how do you coordinate that? That seems kind of fun. What is the alliance there? So yeah, I think ally is a really fun term. So
Absolutely. And as you can tell, our dog is so excited by this
yeah, our dog
prompt.
is our strong ally of the concept of
Uh,
alliance. So he's barking away because
he's
huskies have a
just,
funny bark.
they do. He's almost singing. But
Yeah,
thank you for getting together to talk about the day 22
day
allies.
22. I know, just 11 more days. No, less than that. 9 more days. Wow,
Oh,
this month
oh
is going
goodness.
by fast. All right,
Very fast. Well, good night.
good rolling.